Hello, welcome to March 14th, 2022. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, something I do every morning to remind myself of my objectives and principles and to prepare for the coming day. So, what an interesting blessing was daylight savings time. Spring forward, fall back. So the effect that had, the springing forward part, this morning was that it sprang me through my period of insomnia. If you've seen these videos, you know that I within the last couple of years, tend to wake an hour before the alarm and just stare out the window at Venus. It just, otherwise I sleep soundly. Dark, seemingly dreamless night from the moment I put my head on the pillow at around 9 p.m. until the moment that I quite wake up, usually between 3 and 4 a.m., an hour or two before my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. So with the daylight saving time moving the clock ahead an hour, that cut that period right off. And I did still wake up, but I woke up fleetingly, maybe 2 hours before the alarm. I don't know where that came from. And then I went right back to sleep. And then I woke up maybe 15 minutes before the alarm, and I knew it. And I woke up quite rested. Maybe that's because that's very telling, isn't it? I feel really good. So that's very telling. That tells me that maybe two things. One, I really do need a solid 8 hours of sleep. I feel really good right now. And I think it's because of the full night's sleep that I had. Even though today should be normally a stressful day, this is going to be a tough week at work. Today's a tough day. It's the type of thing that should have woken me up. But my body just must be in this habit of getting up and worrying about work. I wonder what's different. Well, I know one thing that's different. Probably this is more significant than the sleep thing. You, Miko, and I, as usual, spent our entire day together yesterday. We had a fun day. She got up. I usually am the early riser. She stays up late. She got up early, and we went out early, and we went to Corky's, our new favorite place for American-style breakfasts. Over in Corona, and it was empty. Normally that place is just bursting with customers on a Sunday morning. The breakfast set, half the place is empty. And the waitress told us that it was because of the time change, but we had a good time. And then we went from there. We did our shop, went to IKEA, and we did our shopping there. We had a fun time there together. Then we went to Daiso, and then Target, and then Tokyo Central and Costa Mesa, and then drove back and stopped at Costco in Lake Elsinore, and then came home. And by the time we got home, it was 6 p.m. and it was still light out because of the daylight savings time. And I was able to take the dogs for a nice long walk. I took them to the dog park and talked to a nice woman there with 2 little dogs of her own. And one of them was kind of a 7-month-old puppy-ish dog thing, and so much energy. But the thing was, I digress. I'll fall over. Yumiko and I talked in earnest about our life back in Japan, and going back to Japan. And I'm pretty excited about that. Maybe that's the difference. And, my attention is a little more focused. As happens, I get restless with the here and now. I get restless with whatever current life I'm in after a couple of years, and I start to dream of a new life. And she was excited too. So we had fun talking about that. That maybe kind of lessened the immediacy of life. That's a curious term. Let me. Oh, and then we had a really nice dinner. Yumiko made a really nice dinner, and she had a really good week of schoolwork, and she caught us up on all of her schoolwork activities, which was I'm really proud of her. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with what a go-getter she is on her own, you know. Just doing good, doing quality, and doing it on time. What more could I ask for? Let's do the good life. I want to have everything in straight and good order in my life, including my relationships, my finances, and my life's work. And I want to make good use of my time, to not fritter it away. I want to develop good principles and objectives, so that I have some sound guidance to follow. I want to react well to what happens in my life and do good things. I want to recognize what is possible for me to actually do and what probably not, so that I can cultivate more of the former and just sit as a spectator on the dream of the latter. And I always want to do just one thing at a time and to not rush it. I want to be at war at all times with everything that I think is true, and everything that people like you or anybody proposes to me is true, and they earnestly suggest that I should believe, as long as it's important. I'm not going to challenge your claim to have a new kitten, but I will challenge your claim that you understand the whys and the hows and the reason for life. And especially I'll challenge my own claim of the same. I'll remember that though I don't have any part of me that will live forever, no soul, my consciousness is something real, seemingly. And I can enjoy and improve upon that for the time that I have left. Although I have to remember that that consciousness is ultimately quite alone, even when I'm in the embrace of my loved ones. We are each still alone. And whatever ideas of right and wrong or good or bad that we or I formulate are our own ideas, subjective at the very core, only appearing objective when we agree. And to have some purpose in life, namely, to be a good husband and father, a good citizen, a virtuous man towards all those aforementioned ends, and to pursue the sharing of my own message, the message of the good life contained within my book, Going Alone, available on Amazon. You can also find a little community related to these ideas on our Discord. You can go to goingalone.org. A little light box will appear when you land at the homepage within a few seconds. And there's a link there. Come join us in the Discord if you want. It's a nice, friendly group. And to remember that everything is made of atoms, and that atoms have a way of going back to atoms. So too you and me. And everything has its particular nature while it's in its particular form, and for the time that it is. And I'll recognize what that is. I'll strive to, at least, and abide the reality of the natures that I discover, including my own nature. And to try to be a mature man by exercising the strength of fortitude towards better ends and not repeating my mistakes. And to remember that I probably don't have free will, that I'm just moving in a long chain of motions. And to be a social human being, looking for society and striving to be a good member of a village, for lack of a better term. So my people people, my people. And to be careful about what I say and the words that I write, and be very deliberate. Emily said that yesterday. She wrote a long essay for one of her classes, and I asked her if she was done. She said she was, but she said she had to give it a careful rereading before she submitted it last night. Good for her. Careful rereading. And to be very careful about my consumption, to take small bites of everything. And to remember that life is a pretty terrible place for a lot of creatures, a lot of the time. Some of us are lucky to live a pretty safe and sober life. A lot of people don't. A lot of animals don't. A lot of living creatures suffer. And I'll remember that. And try to do what I can to alleviate some of that suffering. I will bear the weight of that which must be borne. And I will try to exercise restraint in not making the sharing of that suffering worse, nor perpetuating the suffering of others through my own weak will. And to try to see past the distractions that I make through my work and my family life and my hobbies, my circle of people, so that I can always remember, if not see, and apprehend the emptiness of the universe that I call the great indifference. And to be comfortable where I am, who I am, and what I'm doing, even when it's hard. If not comfortable, to be composed while striving to improve that situation, and to be prepared to step into a new life, to plan a new life. Not a literal new life, but a new chapter of this life. To walk upon the path of wildness. And to take on all kinds of risks in life, including the more pedestrian challenges of education and career and home and family, and the more deeper challenge of finding something that I want to do and do that, and then build a story, build it myself into something that can have a story. And to not be untrue, nor to too easily believe, nor to dwell in hope without action, or to hold things as true just because I want them to be true, or to believe things that are true, believe propositions of truth because it's of tradition or authority or doctrine or the force of numbers, and never ever to gossip or hold to superstitious belief. Because once something can be demonstrated to actually be true, it is no longer superstition. Superstition is just another shortcut to have a toy And to remember that when I'm dead, I won't go on. There'll be no afterlife, because I do not have a soul. There's no heaven or hell. It seems there's no God even. So all I've got is this brief time that I'm here, a few more years, and then it's adios forever, apparently. So I better reconcile now, reconnect with the people that I want to, and try to make the world a better place. To have at least one or more great life adventures to be my centerpiece story, or stories, and then to be ready to record what I learn along the way, when the words come to me, when the muse speaks. And to remember that when I strive for a particular goal, most of the time I'm not going to quite make it. I'll get close, but not quite. Excuse me. Just say bless you me, or excuse me after I sneeze. Where'd that yawn come from? Daylight savings time may have caught up with me. And to remember that life is an uphill climb, and that I'm probably doing good if it's a struggle. And to be ready to utilize my various principles towards the aim of my objectives in life, and to be okay with less, and to try to have fun. Remember to have a good time. We got to work on that one. I always forget that one at the end of the day. Well, that's my good life meditation, that is. Now let's plan for the day. I only have 2 meetings today, but one of them is really important, a big kickoff meeting. So the first meeting in the morning will be with the same team that has the kickoff meeting, with at least the closer team. And I have to fix a mistake that I made. And put ourselves into alignment. I had created a schedule on Friday. Spent the whole day working on that schedule. And I got the sponsor sign off on that. He agreed to it. And so I'll share that with the project manager at the vendor. I know she was curious about what our schedule might look like. So, one thing done. Let's see if we can do that. And then I need to prepare for the one-on-ones with our customers tomorrow. And then what I'm hoping today is after this is done. It's not much what I'm going to hope to do. This is what I'm going to do. After this is done, God willing, as they say. Sometimes the religious have the right words. I'm going to get up, feed the dogs, have my breakfast. Lately I haven't been taking them for a morning walk. It's a nice thing we have a backyard, because Rudy's been biting me and Ollie doesn't want to go. So when I try to the boys really don't want to go out in the morning, so I just open the back door and they go out and do their business, and I take them for a nice walk at lunch. So I'll open the back door, feed the boys, have my breakfast, come up here, get started. I'm going to open up the project contract and review the contract throughout the day as I go through for each meeting. I'll share the schedule with the project manager, and I'll prepare for tomorrow's battery of meetings as well. But fortunately, I don't have to teach this week, because Juan's going to do that. Thank you, Juan. And with that, I'll sign off. Wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. And if you're in an area that does this daylight savings time, combate. Okay, take care.